We're cruising in North Florida, just seeing what we rustle up in the late afternoon here. And this coach whip was on the road with probably the front foot of his body off the ground. Such cool critters. So the angle with the sun is bad, but that shell looking thing in the very center of the screen, that is a shell. We're in Hattiesburg area of Mississippi, and I took a picture. I'll put a still in there. This is a razorback musk turtle, I think. I think that's the kind of musk they have around here. Maybe not. Maybe it's loggerhead. I'll have to look it up. I also got a much better picture of a closer ringed map turtle, but before I could set up the tripod and get video, he ducked in at that other spot. So I'll put that in there. I am cursed with this tripod, you guys. I brought it and I was able to use it for a turtle this morning, but it was far. There was a beautiful yellow blotched sawback right on this log. I did get a wonderful still picture of him, so I'll put that in the video. But as soon as I set up this tripod and raised it up high enough to mount the camera on it, he slid in after like 2 minutes of finagling the camera angle. Ridonkulous. Big yellow blotch slider. On the very far left of that log, a very small, more ornate yellow blotch slider, and the one that just moved its head has a different patterning behind the ear, a lot more yellow. That is a Pascagoula map turtle. We've got two species in two different age classes sharing this log. Same river. So this guy, we're just going to let him rumble on back to the creek and do his thing. This is an intermediate musk turtle that I waded a little bit into the creek to get in the Western Panhandle of Florida. First Florida lifer of the trip. So, first stop of the morning, well, beside checking traps that didn't have anything, is this southeastern crown snake. So a cool little Tantilla lifer on a cool morning that is warming up quickly. These, of course, are very fossorial, kind of cryptic. They only come out during certain moisture and temperature conditions. So they're probably a lot more common than we actually realize, like many of the primarily underground snakes. A nice way to open up the morning. So this right here, basking in the morning sun, is a Gulf Coast box turtle. Unique to the Gulf Coast, as the name implies, between, I think they go over to like Biloxi, Mississippi area, and then they go east over to sort of the armpit of the Florida coast where they meet the Florida box turtle, which then lives in peninsular Florida. Hiked up in some cypress bottom habitat. That was one of only 2 box turtle subspecies I hadn't seen in the US yet, the other being the Florida. And I love the patterning on the shell. Reminds me kind of our ornates out in the prairies of western Missouri and Kansas, but not quite. The pattern, it's more like circles or teardrops all over it versus striped, like narrow scratch marks. And the turtles just keep rolling. This, despite the lack of a clear stripe on the back, as you would see in the South Florida specimens, this is actually a striped mud turtle. And I will put on the video a clear shot of the stripe on the nose. The ones up here in the Panhandle are weird. There's some talk that they'll actually be a separate species at some point, and split off from the South and Central Florida ones that have the clear stripe on the back. But for now, this is a striped Mud turtle. Yet another turtle lifer in this little cypress dome pond.